Now we will cover lesson 1-2 about unit rates. A rate is a ratio that compares quantities measured in different units. Like for example, whenever we measure this rate, how many miles a car is driving on so many gallons, two different units. A unit rate is the rate for one unit of a given quantity. When a unit rate is written as a fraction, the denominator is 1 unit. The 1 in a unit rate is read as per. So if we know that a car travels 120 miles on 4 gallons of gasoline, we could say that the unit rate is 30 miles per gallon. Now the way that we get that is by making our denominator 1, or finding out how much it is for 1 gallon. We can do that by dividing by 4. But whatever we do to the bottom, we want to do the same thing to the top of our fraction so that we would make an equivalent rate. 120 divided by 4 is 30. So 30 miles per gallon is our unit rate. Let's do a couple of examples. A lobster molts or sheds its shell 20 times over a period of 5 years. How many times per year does the lobster molt? Whenever we're asked the question, how many times per year, we're talking about how many years here. I don't see an S, so we're just talking about 1 year. We're looking for a unit rate. So we know that the rate is 20 times for 5 years. To get the unit rate, we just make the denominator 1, and to do that we would need to divide by 5. So we need to divide our numerator by 5 as well, and we would see that a lobster molts its shell 4 times per year, or 4 times every year. Okay, pause the video and try this one. Find the unit rate. For this one, we begin with a rate of 219 heartbeats for 3 minutes. If we want the unit rate, we want to know how much for 1 minute. So to get 3 to change into 1, we would divide by 3. So we would also divide 219 by 3. 3 goes into 21 7 times, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So 73 heartbeats, I'll just abbreviate, per minute. We can also talk about unit prices. This is just a unit rate talking about money. So we know how much it is for 4 movie tickets. We can find how much it is for 1 movie ticket. And again, we would just divide by 4 to make this be 1 in the denominator. And so we would divide by 4 in the numerator to get the price per ticket. Unit rates can be really helpful for a lot of things. We can compare prices really easily by using unit rates to get the best deal. This example is having us look at t-shirts. Now you can buy t-shirts in different packages, but you want to get the best deal for your money. So we would want to get the cheapest unit rate. Now, when we talk about prices like this, just like we saw in the last example, we talk about how much money for one item. We don't usually talk about how many things you get for $1. We talk about the price per t-shirt, or for one t-shirt. So we'll put the money on top. We'll see that this becomes important even later to keep that money on top, because we want to keep our DV over our IV. Like in science, dependent variable, independent variable. Money depends on how much you buy. So money is our DV, and we always want the DV on top. It becomes important when we start looking more in detail with rates, and also whenever we start graphing things. So let's get each of our rates. Oh, you probably can't see that one. Okay, and I'm just gonna put an S for shirts since I didn't put my label there. Okay, so to compare these prices, we just want to look at how much for one shirt. So on each of these, we want to know how much for one. Well, to get the price for one, we're just going to, in this case, divide by 12. That will make our denominator become 1. Let's use a calculator to speed things up. 39 divided by 12, 325. In this rate, we'll divide by 15 to find out how much for one shirt. 47.25 divided by 15. $3.15 for one shirt. And $29.90 divided by 10. That would shift our decimal one spot, so $2.99 for one shirt. And in our last rate, we divide by 8 to find out how much for one shirt. And that would be $3.40. 3.4 in money terms is $3.40. Okay, so to get the best deal, we'd want the cheapest price, and it looks like it's going to be cheapest to buy the 10-pack. That's getting us our best deal because we're getting the shirts individually for the best price or best deal. You also need to buy dye for the tie-dyeing activity. You can buy the dye in various sizes. Which is the best buy? This one is just like the one we did, so pause the video and try it out. Remember that you want to keep the money on top. We want to know how much per ounce. That'll give us a good comparison between each of the different packages. Pause the video and see how you do. Okay, you should have taken each rate and written it as its price over the number of ounces, divided by that denominator each time to get your unit prices or your unit rate. And it looks like the 8 fluid ounces for $14.24 would be our best buy. We would get the cheapest deal. All right, last part. Unit rates are helpful.
Houston, we have a problem.
What's wrong?
Roger ate all the pudding sticks.
I was up late, and I was hungry. Roger, what have I told you about only eating your own pudding stick? These meals are carefully planned.
See, I told you you'd be in big trouble.
Okay, unit rates are helpful for a lot of things. They're helpful to compare prices and get the best deals, and they're also helpful for answering questions like this one. Astronauts have different nutritional needs in space than on Earth. An astronaut's diet contains 18 milligrams of iron for 2 days. That's our rate. How many milligrams of iron should the astronaut's diet contain for 9 days? Well, if we try to figure out how much for 9 days, we would attempt to multiply 2 times something to get 9. And there's a number, it's just not a nice one. So if instead we find the unit rate first, this could really help us solve the problem. So if it's 18 milligrams for 2 days, how much is it for 1 day? 9 milligrams per day is our unit rate. And we really want to know how much in 9 days. Now that we have a unit rate, it's real easy to change our rate into an equivalent form of out of 9 days. So 81 milligrams will be the answer. First, we found a unit rate, and then we were able to easily use it to find out the answer to the question. Okay, one last example. Again, this one is like the previous one. So pause the video, see if you can do it by yourself, then play the video to see if you got it correct. Okay, in this example, we begin with our rate, 2,272 miles in 8 minutes. And we want to know how much or how many miles the satellite goes in 3 minutes. The easiest way for us to do that is to first find the unit rate. So to get the unit rate, we would divide by 8. You can use a calculator to save us some time. 2272 divided by 8. So that's 284 miles per day. That's our unit rate. Now we can answer the question, how many miles for 3 minutes? Well, to get 1 and to change it to 3, we just multiply by 3. 284 times 3. We can do it off to the side, or we can use a calculator to make things faster. That's 852 miles in 3 minutes. So our answer would be 852 miles. All right, I hope this video helped you understand unit rates. I'll see you for the next lesson.